Okay, so I guess I am recording, and I also now guess or realise that I was going to state the time before I started the video, but I actually started it and I don't know what the time is. I didn't check it on the mobile, but I'm guessing, and anyone that wants to hold me to exactness, well, I'm sorry, because I know that that at this time, in some ways, to be accurate or to keep track of what is, say, what you would consider to be real or the truth, may be important to most of us, because we will be looking for the unreality, looking for that which isn't true, in order to be able to distinguish or tell the difference between the real and the not real, or the genuine and the false, shall we say, because one will be artificial and one won't be. That's how the reality is now. So if I get a few things wrong, so be it. In other words, I won't get them wrong, but I might not be accurate. There is a fella in front of me coming out. As soon as I push the video on, look, I'm going to go out there and show you that there is someone coming out of a vacant building when I'm sitting here up where there should be. It is Sunday night, or Sunday morning, should I say, because that really, see, there are two people that have come out here in front of me, and I'm just going to show you, because it won't come out in the mobile unless I get up, but see, I can see it with my naked eye. And of course we have the flashing truck light that has been left there for me, making a huge noise, I might add, as you come past, just to come up here to get the coffee. They came out of that so-called empty shop over there. That is empty, that shop. There's no shop there, but they come out here. Look at this, flashing the lights at me. It's been there now for about 15 or 20 minutes, because it was there when I come up before. I've been down into the service station to get the coffee, and I've already got the coffee. I've had some, and now I'm making the video before I have more interruptions, because I will. Because it is even difficult just to make a video. See how that is just going to stay there, flashing its lights. Makes an enormous noise as you go past. I don't know why, but I'm sure that the Matrix people will tell you that the reason for that is because, it's a certain type of truck, and therefore it has to make a noise for various reasons. Also, there are lights on that shop next to the vacant shop, which they've added. They very subtly add extra lights around like that, where they know I will look, so that I always have some sort of light, because they know that I prefer it to be dark and quiet. Especially, something just went in my eye then, but I don't know what it was. But either way, I'm just going to go back and sit down. And I just got up to show that, but I'm not sure if they come out. See how that's still flashing its lights at me, that great big truck there, right in front. Okay, look, it is Sunday night or Sunday morning, because I'm always corrected on that one too. Because to me it's Sunday night, because it is night, you see. See, I don't go by Matrix stuff. That's probably why I'm not popular with the Matrix. That's a garbage truck going past. I'm guessing that it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? It may even be after 2 o'clock in the morning. I will check the exact time when I've made the video, because they put the time, you can check the time on the video. But it's about 2 or 2:30 in the morning, okay? Yeah, probably about heading up towards 2 o'clock, I'm guessing, because now that I look at it, there's another garbage truck. See all these enormous amount of garbage trucks, you know, but there's a man just stopping there. Won't come out on the video, just stopping, but knows that I can see it, so that's like, it's all, you know, even though it's yeah, it would have to be, oh dear, foot just went on. It would have to be 2 o'clock in the morning, yeah. Okay. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to sit back down here. I'm sorry if I make a lot of noise, but basically I probably could train myself to do things to not be noisy. You know, when you're doing basic things. In other words, you know, you don't have to make sounds every time you experience some difficulty or some pain or something. But it is rather hard. But, you know, it is something that probably should be... See, it's two people coming, it's two people, I'm going to show you here that at this time there are two people on the other side, just over there, in my view of sight, just they're coming down. Can you see them walking through that bit of light? See? See, at this time of the morning, you really shouldn't get anyone around except little old me. Oh, they're going into that same place, right in front. See? Can you see that? Oh, can you see it? See, did you see the flicker? Where they opened the door, the light? They are going into that abandoned place. That is actually abandoned. They are just matrix-controlled, programmed watchers, patrollers. Or if you want to be blunt about it, you know, they're artificial, programmed, deliberate stalkers of people. You know, I haven't used that word to now. I haven't used a lot of words in my videos, even though I've been doing them now for a few years on and off. I prefer to be subtle, and I prefer to use words that are more neutral. Stalking implies, and it really is the truth, that these people are deliberately trying to make their presence felt and deliberately, personally trying to harass people, myself included. Anyone that they do not like or see as some sort of threat to their artificial matrix. That's the bottom line of it. And they see you as a threat just by nature of the fact that you are not really part of it, and would not want to be part of it, and wouldn't be part of it. You see, this is the problem for them. But also, even at a personal level, if you want to look at it another way, and I've tried to make this point but long-winded and not getting there as usual, that even if this world, right now, you know, it's a technical, artificial controlled matrix. Okay, that's what it is. But if it was, say, a random natural world like we thought it was and like I thought it was, within reason, obviously you know it's not totally random and there is elements of control because you live in a city and you live in what we term a society, which means there are rules and regulations, of course. It's not left up to each person, and you have to abide by living a certain way when you choose to live in a city or in certain areas. Basically the whole world, I would imagine, really. But there probably might be some parts where you know, you might be more your own person and can make your own rules a bit more. But I would think you'd have to go to some remote area, and then how do you survive? How do you provide for yourself? How do you get food, clothing and shelter, etc.? You know, I was taught when I went to school 50 years ago now, that food, clothing and shelter are the three main necessities for a human being in life. It just occurred to me too, and this was something that I was going to mention to the English one, but as I am not able to communicate at this time for whatever reasons, matrix or personal, it doesn't matter, because the personal is part of the matrix anyway. Most of us are not really allowed to be or do what we really want. And we are, we're governed by how we've been conditioned. That goes for myself very big time, and it goes for other people too, no doubt. And so therefore, what you would probably freely do, you're not able to do because, you're restricted by your own limitations, which are matrix conditioning from young, I would imagine, or the matrix itself deliberately setting obstacles in your way, creating environmental scenarios around you, like difficulties just in your daily life to where you don't have time or are too stressed or too convoluted to to even do something that shouldn't take much time and that shouldn't be difficult, like even making a phone call, for instance. I know that myself, and that was always the case even before the matrix came down full force, shall we say, really opened up and exposed itself. That's when they really target you openly, even though it's not open to anyone else except you. And that's why in these videos at some point I decided to, because I actually would have, if I had been sensible, I would have been recording outside activities. Every time I go outside my door or go and sit in the park, for instance, which obviously I'm not doing at the moment, but like when I have done that, when we had the dog, etc., if I had filmed every single incident, most people would have said, hey, there is definitely a noise campaign, a noise program levelled against those two people or that person, because almost without exception, on a daily basis, almost without exception, except say at 12 or 1, 2 in the night like now, if you sat in a park, which you didn't tend to do at that time anyway, there would be some sort of noise going on that was disruptive around you. Sure, it would look normal and random, as though someone was just doing some sort of maintenance or work, but it was always there, and sometimes excessively loud. But even if it wasn't excessively loud, it was still disruptive to me, for instance, because I had been conditioned to listening to noise, for 4 years and 9 months, going on for 10 months now. We're into the 10th month. But it doesn't matter the time, I suppose. I don't know why I keep mentioning it. It seems like a really long time, and yet in another way, it almost seems like as though time has stopped, because it seems the same every day. When you have this sort of repetitive thing around you, this program around you, which is the artificial matrix trying to control you, trying to restrict you basically, so that you can't just go outside or even inside your house and just be comfortable and just doing as you would normally want to do and should be able to do, but you can't, because it looks as though you can, because it's not like anyone comes and stops you from stepping outside your front door. But they make it so unpleasant, if you've got noise around you. Like, I have to sit here at this time in the morning. This is probably about the most peaceful you will ever get. You're aware that there's matrix traffic in front of you, but it's not overly disturbing. But this is the only time, so you have to sit, in the winter time, in a cold place. It's not winter time now, but in a outside on the street, on a main road. Obviously, there are other places I could go, but you can't get coffee other places, you know, if you want to sit down and have some coffee. And, you know, I'm a bit of a creature of habit. Also, I don't have the energy. See, that's another thing too. If I was not so suppressed physically and mentally by the matrix, I would have more energy, and so I could walk further afield, go to different places, be prepared to, you know, go to different places for the coffee, maybe, you know. But eventually it takes its toll on you at a physical level, even to where you don't have the incentive or the physical energy to actually do things that you would just normally do. They wouldn't even seem like a big deal. You know, it's a major effort to get down here. But either way, sorry about that. I was trying to, yeah, but either way, the point that I was trying to make many a time was that even if we were in a natural world, say a natural Earth, if the population, due to circumstances, ends up to where more than 3/4, say, of the population, and it's well more than that, by the way, but at the time when I first started making videos, I assumed that it was 3/4, and maybe a bit more, of the population that was of the psychopathy that is, you know, a narcissistic psychopath, or that type of personality. There are variances, okay? But either way, you're essentially surrounded by, you know, negative anti-life types of people. You know, that's assuming it was a natural Earth and that we weren't overrun and taken over by technology, which we really are. But even if it was a natural world, if, like, go back, say, thousands of years or something, I don't know. But personally, I think that it's always been the same. It's just that it's like now, it's been hidden. They play it to where you think things are more natural than what they are. But it doesn't matter. But even if it was a natural world, if you had 3/4 or more of the entire population of the Earth that was psychopathic in nature, in their mindset, in other words, they're not for real life. They don't like their fellow human being even. They tend to want to either control them, use them, or bring them down. You know, one of those three things, and sometimes all three. Probably, you know. Or at some point, depending on what use you are to them, or how much of a negative threat to them that they pose you to be, if you want to look at it that way, because they do see their own kind as a threat. They do think they have to be controlled or brought down. They think that if you're allowed to just be yourself, that you will somehow bring them down, or limit, or not limit them, but because you won't, because you're not actually even you don't even want to interact with them. But you're obliged to, of course, if they are family or friends, or you're married to them, or you have to, or they're in your vicinity, neighbours or work people, you know, any that are around you, you have no choice but to interact with them. And you have to pretend that they are normal people. And you think that's the best way to do it. You think even if you consciously know that they, are physically even attacking you somehow, you still have to pretend that that has not happened. Now, that's an interesting thing too, but I won't go into that. I might, but I don't know. I don't, like, you feel as though you're doing some sort of psychology. I'm not even watching what I'm filming here, actually, to be honest. Not at all. I'm actually tunneling in on my own thinking, trying to be coherent. But, see, I shouldn't have said that. I should have just kept on track. But, it is not about talking about psychology and pretending that you know these things. It's purely experience. It's purely that you have seen, you're dealing with these people all the time on a daily basis and over a lifetime. And it's only when you have the basic fact that you know this, that you are dealing with a different psychopathy, a different personality type, at the least, okay? With everything that's around you. That then you're conscious of what you're dealing with, and so you think about it. You do analyse it even a little bit. You have to. But either way, what I was trying to get to, once again, I must keep on track, was that even if you did have a natural earth, if you, that's right, it doesn't take a lot of, you don't have to be particularly clever to realise that if you had most people around you that were psychopathic, and you weren't, and that they are secretly, trying to undermine you, that's the correct word. I noticed they copied that on the computer too when I thought of that word, because it just simply means to limit you and bring you down and belittle basically everything you say and do. Make everything you say and do seem a lot less, and that way they appear to be more. And that's very much the mindset of the narcissistic, psychopathic type of person. That's their way of bringing themselves up, is basically bringing you down. That's just a known thing, and you actually see that when you engage with them, particularly if they don't hide it too much. But even if they hide it, you will see the subtle signs of it, And it's only when you realise that most people are of that personality, that type of being, that you actually then will pick it up even more. You'll pick it up in the past, but it won't be obvious. You may not even get it. You could actually engage with some people for years and not see their little derogatory remarks as negative towards you. You may even accept them to be true and think that there's merit to them. It's a bit like saying, I used to have people say to me all the time when I was a lot younger, "Oh, you're just overreacting." In other words, if you had some grievance or some complaint, it would be like, you're just overreacting. And you'd actually think to yourself, yes, well, maybe I am. But that's just their way of then saying, what you think or what you feel doesn't matter to us. It's not important. It's a belittlement, you see, if you really think about it. And that only occurred to me 30 years later, to be honest. So that shows you that that's just an example of it. And that's a subtle, pleasant example. That's not like where someone directly will tell you that you are something that you're not, or a lot less than what or even twist your words to where they're deliberately misinterpreting even what you're saying, for that matter, turning what you say in almost into a lie. So it can be like that too. I'm not sure if I'm making sense here. I probably aren't. And if I'm getting it wrong, just understand that I have difficulty, making a comment when that you want to be more, you want to make sense so badly that you end up getting confusing yourself. It's you know, it's not like it's written out where you could read it off a script, so therefore it would be easy and make sense. And, you know, I am out in the matrix with the traffic and I'm not that comfortable, so, you know, but that's an excuse, I know, but that's the best I can do anyway. But what I was trying to say was that, yes, if you were in a real natural world and everyone around you, like 3/4 or more of the population, let's say it's 90%, or 85 to 90% of the population of the earth is psychopathic in their personality or in their basic nature, you know. And it wouldn't matter whether they were using technology or whether they were possessed or not, okay? They're just psychopathic. But I think that all these things are connected anyway, myself, you know. I think that the psychopath or the psychopathic nature tends to allow possession. So therefore there is always going to be a technical being operating or controlling that human being. But that's just another way of looking at it. Now, but either way, like I say, if you were surrounded, like even I'm saying most of this traffic that goes past, psychopathic, okay? Psychopathic individuals in and on the bikes and the cars and the vehicles, for whatever reason, whatever is in their mind, it doesn't matter how they feel about you. In other words, it doesn't matter what their reasons are that they have convinced themselves that they are going to suppress and surround and stalk and harass and try to control and limit you, a real human being. Doesn't matter whether you're conscious of it or not. If you're conscious of it, it's hard. But I'm folding up.